Oh, well, my children are, they totally, they're very excited that I do what I do and I am who I am. But, like they look at me as dad, it's like, hey, Dad, what's up? It's just, my daughter, she is actually studying voice and that and taking piano. And my son plays guitar and that. And so they love music. My daughter's totally into Tori Amos. So she wants to really create that kind of a world for herself where she will sing and play piano. And my son is totally into John Petrucci. He just thinks he's amazing and he wants to play guitar like him, and he loves rock and roll. And so I think, but with all that being said, just at the end of the day, when I go home, I'm a human being just like any one of you. And that's how I am with my children, and that's the way they look at me. They don't look at me as James LaBrie. They look at me as dad, somebody who gets, who's just as fallible as anyone else in the world, Yeah, absolutely. Nick Van Dyke, he's extremely talented. I love the band Redemption. And he called me up and he said, I'd really love for you to appear on the album. And I have this track that I wrote with you in mind. And so I said, let me hear the track. I heard the song, it was great, loved it. And, I've always respected Ray Alder. I think he's a great vocalist. And so it was an opportunity to work with Nick and be a part of his album. I really respect him and I wish that band all the best. I think they deserve a lot of recognition. I really do. But this is the second time that I've sang with Ray Alder because I did Fate's Warning in Parallel, Parallel Lines. So it was, it was kind of cool to once again do it. 17 years later, 18 years later, Yeah, I have a new solo album that I'm working on right now, and so I will be recording that very, very soon, and we're hoping for a release in June of 2010, the next solo album. But it's with Marco Svoli playing guitar, and Mike Mangini on drums, and obviously Matt Gilray, who writes all the music with me. And it's really exciting. We're really excited about these songs. It's funny because I think a lot of the misconception is that people say, because he's in a progressive metal band, that's the only kind of music he listens to. But that's not true, I'll listen to alternative bands, I'll listen to pop, I'll listen to rock, and I'll listen to thrash, and I'll listen to progressive and metal bands. But I also like to listen to classical music. I also love to listen to jazz music, and I think the fact that I'm able to go into these different areas or styles of music, it just expands my musical palette, which is very healthy for any musician to do. You have to do that. Just stick in one format of music would limit your ability to be able to express yourself as a musician. And this is the way that we've always operated. We have never ever been influenced by external pressures. In fact, let me recant that. I'm sorry. At one point in our career, when we were doing Falling into Infinity, we had exterior forces bearing down on us, trying to direct us, trying to tell us that we needed to do this or that in order for them to be able to put an album that would be successful. And all this pressure really affected who and what we were as a band, as Dream Theater. And it really screwed us up. There was a lot of internal conflict. There was a lot of just conflict between our the influentials at the label and ourselves, and it just created a very negative environment for us. So what we did is we went ahead and we did that album when it came out, and it did what it did. But we went back into the label and we said, we can never work like this again, and if you don't let us do it from here on in, or here on out on our own terms, then we don't want to exist anymore. We don't want to be Dream Theater. So at that point, they did. They acquiesced to our wishes, and they just stood back and let us be who we are. So with that being said, we've, since Scenes from a Memory and on, we have, previous to Falling into Infinity, we did everything on our own terms. Post Falling Infinity, we've always done everything on our own terms. And the last two albums, being with Roadrunner, didn't make any difference. It's another label that believes in us. It's a label that wants to promote us and do what needs to be done in order to make us successful business-wise. But we've never been influenced by who represents us as far as our music goes. We are who we are. How do we manage? Well, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we've toured so extensively over the years that we've established a very strong foundation fan base-wise, internationally. And I think it's really created, a sense of loyalty from our fans around the world. And because of the kind of shows we do, they know pretty much what to expect from us. They know that it's going to be a visually stimulating show. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, not so predictable set list wise, what songs we play, because we like to change it up each and every night. So I think these factors and the fact that we have established who and what we are as a live band really lends itself to success in the way that we tour.
Perfetto.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Grazie.